Hey, Think Kids. I hope that you guys are all doing great today. So, as you know, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I have recorded class for you to watch, Creepy and Kooky Creatures, and here we are and ready to go. So, I emailed your parents a worksheet. Don't look at it. I hope you didn't look at it. If you did look at it, it's okay. It just means that now you know what the creature is. But if you didn't look at it, don't look at it until I say so. Okay? So here we go. And you might want to go ask your parents to print the worksheet now. That's fine. If they print it now, you can pause this, but don't look at the worksheet if you can until I tell you. So on the worksheet, there's going to be things to color, like always. There's a word search, and there's a little project where you're going to get to draw a creature. After you draw your creature, have your parents email or text me a picture of it, and I'm going to make a video with everybody's creatures on display, and I'm going to send that to you. So, okay, here we go. Now it's time to jump right in with our clue. This week, we're going to talk about a type of creature that you see every day. I'll bet that in your entire life that there have probably only been a few days in your life when you haven't seen at least this class of creature, the type of creature we're going to talk about today. So do you have any guesses yet what it might be? Okay, so some of these creatures are in the zoo, but some are in your own backyard and probably in your front yard and almost everywhere that you walk or look or go outside. These creatures walk on two legs, and some are so small that they could be held in the palm of your hand, but some are taller than you are. Some of them are nocturnal, which means that they sleep during the day and they're awake at night, but others are diurnal, which means it's like people are, where they're awake during the day and they're asleep at night. The creatures that we're talking about today are all in the class of aves. Do you remember what that class means? These are avians. They are birds. In week 3, we talked about creepy birds, but today we are going to talk about some kooky and maybe cute birds. So you can look at your worksheet now if you printed that up. So there we go. Now you know it's birds. So let's pause and I know that you've been looking at this picture on the screen and you're probably thinking, is this all she's going to show you? No, I'm going to show videos and I'm going to show other pictures. So hold on a second. Let's take a minute back in time. Remember in week 3, we looked at some creepy birds. So we're going to take a little time now to revisit some of those creepy birds and maybe learn a little bit more. We're going to check out 3 videos about creepy birds that we already talked about. Then we're going to move into the kooky birds that we're looking at this week. So here goes. Our first creepy bird video.
In the rainforests of Australia, the giant cassowary is in danger from a feral invader. March 2018, the BBC's 7 Worlds, 1 Planet team arrive in northern Queensland. Their aim? To film one of the world's largest birds, the cassowary.
We are in the Daintree rainforest in North Queensland. It's one of the oldest patches of rainforest in the world.
Growing to a height of 1.5 meters and equipped with enormous dinosaur-like claws, cassowaries have been described as the planet's most dangerous birds. But these feathered giants are shy and prefer to stay hidden in dense tropical rainforest. There are only around
the trees can't stand up for basically causing havoc. They also eat all of the food and can grow massive, so they can really be a threat to our cassowary, especially the chick.
Pigs are omnivores. As well as stripping the forest of the fruit the cassowaries depend on, they can eat their eggs and even their chicks. With such a small population, this new threat could see the cassowary disappear forever from Australia, which would be disastrous for this ancient rainforest.
The cassowaries are crucial for the Daintree rainforest to survive. They're a keystone species, and this fruit in particular relies on the cassowary to germinate. It goes through cassowary's gut, and once it's done that, it is obviously pooed out, and it is able to grow in its own little pile of cassowary fertilizer.
It's estimated that over 100 plant species here depend almost entirely on the cassowary as their method of seed dispersal.
They can eat fruits that are, this big. They walk kilometres in a day, so they take them really far away, and they have really gentle digestive system.
So if the cassowaries are at risk, all the other plants and animals that rely on them are also in danger. Invasive species are now the #1 threat to Australia's native wildlife. They have already contributed to the extinction of more than 100 indigenous species of flora and fauna. It's hard to predict just how many feral pigs there are in the Daintree, but the camera traps suggest their numbers are increasing. At this moment, little is being done to remove or prevent the spread of pigs. So, unless action is taken soon, Australia may lose another of its iconic wildlife species.
Okay, so I hope that you guys liked that video. I thought it was an interesting one. That was the cassowary, of course, that giant bird that we talked about. And they were talking a lot in that video about feral pigs, and, which means, like, we have it's basically stray pigs that don't belong to anybody, who are just starting to grow up in the wild, and they're causing a real problem for them. Actually, those pigs cause a real problem for a lot of species in Australia. And while it's sad because pigs are cute and fun, we hate to see anything bad happen to them, Australia is going to probably have to do something about them pretty soon. So let's move on to another creepy bird that we studied in week 3 and get just a little look at this one. Are you guys ready? We're going to talk about the stork. This is a short video, just 2 minutes.
Back at the lagoon, Marabou Storks join the pelicans. These big birds are talented scavengers, feeding on any remains they come across. Their grotesque, featherless heads, cloak-like plumage, and love for carcasses mean they're often referred to
So there we go. We see, I think we watched a little bit of a video like that in class. The storks actually hunting. I think that's really neat. And there's another animal that hunts fish, not exactly like that, but have you guys ever seen bear hunting for salmon? Up in the north areas, like in Alaska, bears will actually stand right by like rocks and small waterfalls to catch the salmon that are trying to swim upstream to spawn, and they'll pluck them right out of the water. So animals are really good hunters, and they have creative ways of getting fed, which I think is pretty neat. So we have, here's another creepy bird that we covered before. We're going to talk a little bit more about. Look at the name of this video, Acid, Poop, and Barf. How great does that sound? The Vulture's secret weapon. 3.5-minute video. So here we go.
Have you ever been digging around in your fridge late at night looking for a snack and come upon some leftovers in the back wondering if maybe too much time has passed, but you go for it anyway because you're hungry and lazy and cheap? Yeah, like college, all of college for me. But then by the next morning you're all moaning and groaning and really regretting that decision to eat the slightly fuzzy burrito. You know who doesn't have that problem? Vultures. At some point in your life, you've probably come across a hunched turkey vulture digging into a nice ripe smudge of roadkill and thought, how can you eat that rotten, stinky meat and not get sick? How is that not killing you? The world's 23 species of vultures have evolved the ultimate freegan palate. They pretty much eat exclusively dead things with the help of their amazing digestive systems. The stomach breaks down food using gastric juices comprised mainly of hydrochloric acid to dissolve bonds in protein molecules and digestive enzymes that continue the dismantling process. The average levels of a normal human gastric system are between 1 and 2 on the pH scale. By way of comparison, vinegar weighs in at about 2.4 and battery acid at about 0.08. But the stomach acids of some vultures comes in between 0 and 1, so corrosive that they can dissolve certain metals. Which is super cool, but unless they're trying to eat a robotic raccoon, not particularly useful. I mean, it's a bit overkill for just like dead cow stuff. But a festering carcass, as you might imagine, is a dirty place. It may still house whatever viruses, parasites, and diseases killed the thing in the first place. That's why the bird's super strong acid cocktail is a whiz at killing a whole mess of pathogens that would be lethal to lesser scavengers, from salmonella and cholera to anthrax, botulism, even rabies. In addition to laying the smack down on nasty bugs in the digestive tract and pumping blood thick with bacteria-fighting antibodies, vultures have a few more tricks up their feathered sleeves to stay healthy, like pooping in their pants. They don't wear pants, but they do poop directly on their legs, which is a strange kind of brilliance. For one, this evaporating slurry of waste is a great way to cool down on a hot day, and for another, the whitish slop contains some of that great acid, which acts as an awesome sanitizer on legs that have been knee-deep in rot. Not only that, but the waste keeps killing pathogens in the grass around the carrion, helping to prevent the spread of disease to other animals and even to soil and water systems. So vultures are kind of like a hazmat cleanup crew. A vulture's bald head also keeps it clean, since they've got to get all up in the mushy chest cavities and guts. Their heads get pretty grody. A feathered crest would house more bacteria-ridden flesh crumbs than Methuselah's beard, whereas a clean pate stays more hygienic and gets baked clean under the hot sun. Oh, and if you've heard the tale that vultures projectile vomit to protect themselves from predators, know that this is only half true. They do indeed produce an impressive hurl storm, but it probably isn't to spew rabies in coyotes' faces. Although vulture vomit may burn those unlucky enough to get splattered, it's probably more to do with the fact that they've gorged so much on meat that they're too heavy to quickly lift off, and thus need to lighten the load. In any case, at that point, any potential predator would presumably think, oh, hot acid vomit, and leave the bird alone. Excellent. So, anyway, next time you feel like vultures are gross, just remember that in addition to being gross, they are also really amazing. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for us, you can leave them on Facebook, Twitter, or down in the comments below. And if you want to keep getting...
So vultures are really amazing, and they're one of my favorite creatures. People a lot of times think of vultures as just yucky and dirty and scary. For some people they think, oh, when they see a vulture it means death is nearby. And that may be true, but remember, like we talked in class, vultures keep our world clean. They're like the garbage men of birds, and it's necessary. And so they're really cool, and they're an important part of the circle of life. So, okay, let me just pull up my notes really quick here. I want to see what I have next on the schedule. Okay, so now on to our kooky bird for this week. This week we're talking about two specifically kooky birds. One is the frogmouth. So let me pull up a picture of the frogmouth for you and take a look at these little guys. Isn't that adorable? Look at, I mean, that parent looks kind of grouchy, right? But that baby looks so cute with its big, huge mouth. And wait until you see the video I have for you in a minute. So, the frogmouths are native to Australia and Tasmania. They're often confused for an owl or mistaken for a frog because of their name. But the tawny frogmouth is actually part of a family of birds called the nightjar. And these medium-sized birds are nocturnal, and they have long wings, short legs, and really wide bills. The tawny frogmouth is active at night. We said that, nocturnal. By day, it perches in trees, camouflaged. Look at all those little white dots on it. It totally blends in with the bark of the trees that it lives in. These tawny frogmouths have kind of weak legs and feet for grabbing prey, so instead they pounce and they use their wide hooked beak to gobble their prey right up. Their primary feathers are kind of frayed, like those of an owl. It means that they're designed to be very quiet when they're flying. But most of the time they use a sit and wait strategy, sitting very still, waiting to ambush their prey. There's about 14 different species of the frogmouth, and most of them have large, bright yellow eyes and a wide beak that's yellow or gray or kind of a greenish olive gray color. Their beak is abnormally wide, almost like the mouth of a frog. It's kind of triangular shaped, and it's got a hook on the end of it and whisker-like bristles all around the bill. These short little birds are only between 8 and 21 inches tall. That's not real tall. That's about the size of a piece of paper, or at most like 1.5 pieces of paper. And they only weigh 1.5 pounds, so they weigh like less than a jug of milk. Their feathers are brown-gray with molted black streaks and spots, like we talked about, so that they look like tree bark. They have wispy feathers on their head, and the bristles all around their beak. When threatened, these frogmouths mostly rely on camouflage. They just stay perfectly still, and they say, "Don't look at me. I don't see you. You can't see me." They keep their eyes closed and their beak pointed up, and they just wait quietly. But if something gets too close, and you say, how do they know? Their eyes are closed. They have really good hearing. If something gets too close, they can take off into a fast flight, or they'll open their giant cavernous mouth to try to scare away what's ever coming after them. Predators of these creatures include foxes, pet dogs, and pet cats, and then stray dogs and stray cats, of course. The tawny frogmouths are not particularly talkative. They don't make a lot of sounds, but they'll hiss if they feel threatened, and they make a buzzing sound similar to a bee when they're startled. So, pretty interesting stuff there. Let's go ahead now and pause and watch a video of this tawny frogmouth. Let's see here.
Good morning, John. So,
Here we
owls
go.
are pretty cool, right? The big eyes, the silent flight, the ears. But also, everybody knows that owls are cool. The majority of dinosaurs frogmouths.
Oops, sorry, I accidentally started a second video. Hold on.
Like owls, except not at all. Despite the big front-facing eyes and the nocturnal habits, frogmouths are actually more closely related to hummingbirds than to owls. And those eyes are really what does it for us, right? Because we humans are so eyeball-focused as a community-based species, we see those eyes as like a sign of intelligence or emotion. And I'm not saying they're not smart. Birds are smart, but ravens are smarter. If ravens had eyes like owls, we would let them teach kindergarten. But then you mix hear that, like, Furbies are infringing on the frogmouth trademark. Ugh. Yeah, my heart. I just want to squish it. Frogmouths, however, are terrible parents. Possibly because they have such tiny, useless legs, and also their beaks are so specialized, they're just very bad at nest building. They often lose eggs or chicks to the perils of that surprise gravity. But they will take advantage of the nests of more careful nest builders or human objects that look like good nests. So that's even cuter. What the heck? But then wait, before I go, sometimes they are not cute because they can shapeshift. Frogmouths sleep during the day, and they're pretty small, so they have to be wary of predators. And they have in their toolkit a number of ways to deal with this. The first is that they can just look like logs, even will sometimes sway in the wind like they are a piece of the tree. But when threatened, they can also change shapes to like scary looking things, or just weird looking. Like, I don't know what to do with this. And the tawny frogmouth of Australia has like a plan C and D. Plan C is just to peck at the enemy, and D is to spray poop all over it. Hooray for the tawny frogmouth, you shape-shifting, cryptically disguised poop-spraying, bug-catching, nest-neglecting, grown-up bird Furby. I love you, John.
How did you guys like that nickname? Pretty cute, eh? These guys are absolutely adorable. There are multiple species. The ones that I was talking about are largely the ones in Australia. I mentioned that these were from Australia and Tasmania, but there are other species of frogmouth that are around the world. So very, very cool little guys. And now, okay, so now let's take a look at this. If you didn't think that that video was cute, check out this baby frogmouth.
So this is a tawny frogmouth, and we are feeding him. He's a baby. He was found on the ground. Oh, all right. Someone's hungry. Gentle, gentle, sweetheart. We're gonna feed you. Now, first, can you swallow that? Oh my God, that's so pretty.
Look at it. It's used to its mom kind of shoving it down its throat, so the human has to push it down its throat with her finger.
That's just beautiful. What? What was that sound? You're such a beautiful creature. What? You're still hungry? Yeah, look at him. He's so hungry.
It's a gorgeous little puffball, but it looks kind of mad, doesn't it? You're not feeding me fast enough.
Look at him. Hey, don't bite me. I'm just trying to pat you. I guess you're a wild birdie boo. I think he's full. That's good. Are you done? Good, baby. Well done.
Look at it. He knows when he's all done. He's like, yup, I have had enough. I'm not going to open my mouth anymore. Absolutely adorable, right? And just in case you like some of these videos a lot, I'm going to send those links along with your parents, along with the email that I sent your parents, so you can rewatch any of the videos if you want to. Okay, so, okay, let's see. I think, so last thing about the tawny frogmouth, at least the Australian one. While humans pose a threat to these birds due to our urbanization, which means building cities and cutting down forests, and our using of pesticides, poisons that kill bugs and weeds, and sometimes hitting them with our cars by accident, even though we pose all those threats, these birds are still doing relatively well, and they are of least concern, meaning they're not endangered. So that's pretty awesome, right? So, okay, that was a whole lot of cuteness. So now let's move on to my next bird, and our last bird we're gonna cover in a deep way, the long-wattled umbrella bird. Yeah, kind of crazy, huh? Let me show you a picture of this. Oh wait, I have one more. I didn't get to show you that tawny frogmouth. Look at, now that would be scary, right? It said that one way it scares away predators is to open its mouth really big. That'd scare me. Okay, so, but I have a picture now of our next bird. Here is the long wattled, its name just escaped me. Hold on a second, let me see. The long wattled umbrella bird. That was it. So, Let me make this picture a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, see this cute guy? Look at, he's got these crazy haircut, like some kind of old band. You know, like if your parents have ever played you the music of the Beatles, this looks like kind of a haircut that these guys would have. And other than that, it's just a black, sleek-looking bird, kind of like a raven, and it's about that size. But look at this long thing right in front here, in front of its chest. That is its wattle. And here I have another picture that's going to show that even better. Look at that. Look at that crazy hair and that big long wattle. Pretty wild, right? So, okay, let's talk a little bit about this kooky bird. According to the American Bird Conservancy, there are only somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 long-wattled umbrella birds left in the world today. They are considered vulnerable, and their numbers are still decreasing. These birds live off the coast of Colombia and Ecuador, where it is hot and wet. Okay. Thought I had a map of that, but I don't. So that's in South America, down where it's really hot and really humid, like by rainforests and stuff. The all-black male has these very fine feathers that come all the way down. They make this floppy-looking umbrella head. That's part of why they call it the umbrella. It has umbrella in its name. But it's also got these weird inflatable wattles that dangle down the middle of its chest. And the wattle is covered in short, scaly feathers. But when they inflate it, it looks like a pine cone. And I have a video of that coming up. And basically, from what I read, these creatures inflate their wattle, one, to attract the girls, because only the boys have a wattle, and two, the girls have a wattle, but it's really small. The boys have the big one. And two, they do it to scare away would-be predators. So, let's pause for a minute. Excuse me. This bird is unique enough that I couldn't find a whole ton of videos about it. Like I couldn't find a video with somebody talking real good and showing it off, but I did find a couple of interesting videos I want to show you guys. So this first one is I'm just going to play like the first 30 seconds of it. There's no sound, it's just music, but it lets you see kind of just how kooky and unusual this bird is. Can you imagine flying with that big long wattle thing? Don't you think that would kind of get in the way when it's trying to fly? Kind of weird. He is up in a tree. You can see why he's got umbrella in his name, right? Because there his head looks totally like an umbrella shielding his beak and stuff. Oh, and there's where it says it kind of looks like a pine cone when they decide to stretch it out big. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so yeah, kind of cool I thought that video was. So the biggest threat to this long-wattled umbrella bird is habitat loss, again, due to human development, logging, road building, gold mining. Humans in that area are developing a lot of the land to turn it into farms, which sounds great because we need food, but a lot of the farms, they're making palm oil and bananas, and then they're also doing livestock farming, and the way they do it, they're just going in and cutting down so many trees that it is creating a danger for this bird. It's taking away their homes. There's also some people who catch them as pets, which, you know, isn't cool. We've got a lot of animals that are already established as pets and are being bred for pets. We don't need to be capturing them out of the wild. And believe it or not, some indigenous people, native people in the area will eat them, which they don't look particularly meaty or tasty to me. These little guys like to live in the mid-level or the upper story, the top end of the trees. But they're rather clumsy flyers, so they usually hop from branch to branch and don't fly a lot. That's what I said earlier, right? How would you fly with that huge wattle hanging down? So, yeah, that kind of answers that. So here I have another video. Let's look at this one on these funny little creatures. Now listen to this one. Wait, this isn't the listen one. Nope, this one. Well, okay, yeah, listen. Just hold on. There. Do you hear those footsteps? There's people coming closer, so look, he's pushing out his little umbrella and his waddle to make himself look bigger. Look at his umbrella over his head, how big it's getting. He looks like a lot bigger bird, huh? That kind of looks like a beak. And there he opens up his waddle to look like a pine cone. Don't tell me this isn't kooky. He wanted you to think he was a big old bird that could peck at your eyeballs if you came too close. Pretty cool, huh? I love that one. Thought that was a really, really good one. Okay, let's see. And then, so listen to one more. I have this last one. And in this one, you see him blow out his waddle, but you also hear a funny little noise he makes when he does that. Just listen. I think he's gonna do it. No, I'm not hearing it. Wonder if the sound's not high enough. Well, you saw how he blew his waddle up real big? When I heard it earlier, it made like this kind of horn sound. And I think that that sound goes along with it. It's trying to sound bigger and deeper and scary. So see how it's umbrella right now? You can see the umbrella coming out over. There we go. Did you see that? It came right out. It's making its whole head look huge. And it's going as it expands its waddle. Pretty neat. So that little guy's got it going on, right? He's making himself look big and scary. And I think that that's kind of cool. So, okay, so we did the, so we finished our, wattle bird, and now, so now I wanted to show you guys, before we finish up, and just so you know, I've got some more videos you guys can watch when you're done with this presentation I made, but before we go, I'm going to walk you guys through this fun little presentation I found of 25 kooky and cool birds. Now I'm going to go through it a little bit fast, but I'm going to put the link to the presentation in the message I send your parents, so that if you want to watch it more slowly or look at any of the animals again, oops, sorry, I've got it at number 6 because I was looking at it earlier. So if you want to watch it more slowly or look at it again, you can do that after you're done with this. So this little guy is the tufted puffin, which is a seabird that a lot of people actually confuse with penguins. They're up in, they're all the way down the west coast. There's a lot of them in Alaska, and they're the state bird of Alaska, but they're all the way down through California also. Then we have, look at this guy, the vulturine guinea fowl. Isn't he cute? He looks like he's wearing some kind of suit, like he's all dressed up for a wedding. I think he's kind of neat. He's a tropical bird in Ethiopia and Kenya. He likes dry deserts. Here's the speckled eider. Just kind of interesting looking. He looks kind of like he's wearing glasses, they say. That's why they named him speckled. He's a little Arctic seabird, so he likes it cool and he likes to be by the water. Look at this beautiful bird, the golden pheasant. Isn't he beautiful? Native to China. Here we have the Andean cock of the rock. It's the national bird, the national bird of the country of Peru. in South America. It says that they like to live in tropical areas and rocky areas of the rainforest. Isn't it neat? Look at that lower body's like just gray, and then there's that shock of bright color on top. Really interesting. This is the magnificent frigate bird. It can blow up that giant thing in front. It gets small and then it blows it back up. Probably real similar to that wattle bird we just watched, right? Who blowing up its wattle. Pretty cool. This guy looks like the frogmouth. Rufous padu. Padus are a lineage of ancient birds. There we go. Similar to species like the nightjar and the frogmouth. So this guy is related to the frogmouth. Pretty cool, huh? The kakapo. I've never seen the kakapo before. It says it's a flightless parrot. Native to New Zealand. How interesting. Wow, that one's really cool. You might want to look up some more videos on the kakapo and learn more about it. Look at that crazy beak. It looks like a big tooth. The hoatzin. Wow, he's kind of neat looking. Gosh, that looks almost like something from Harry Potter. Doesn't it have kind of a dragon-like look to it? It says it has a really distinctive smell, and they call it the skunk bird. It's from the Amazon. Neat. Oh, and there's our frogmouths. We know all about those little guys now, don't we? So cute. Look at how they blend right in with that bark. Isn't that awesome? Scarlet iwi. It's a Hawaiian bird. It looks like a type of hummingbird. Isn't that gorgeous? Yep, it is a type of hummingbird, and they collect nectar. Burrowing owls. That is, look at that. I think get them all to look at the camera at once and not fly away. That is adorable. And more owls. The Indian Scops owl. Oh my gosh, talk about camouflage, eh? You'd barely notice those guys were even in there. I'll bet they are nice and safe sleeping like that. There we go, the cassowary. We covered that one in the creepy birds segment, and we mentioned it again today. The ribbon-tailed astrapia. Wow, look at that. Do you see him? He's hiding up in the tree. Right up in the tree. He's black with like a greenish front, and then he's got these big, long, white feathers. That is really an interesting looking bird. How neat. The King of Saxony bird of paradise. That's a pretty striking looking bird. It's got, look at how its colors are like segmented. Like it's got 4 very specific different colors. Neat. A Kia bird. I've talked about this in one of my other classes before. They are cute little parrots that actually make a real pest of themselves. If you want to search for something funny on YouTube, look up the Kia bird, because they can be, they're almost like little bird raccoons. They go into parking lots of stores and actually steal things from people, like out of their shopping bags and stuff. They're crazy little birds. The shoebill stork. Pretty cool looking. Nice tall stork. Look at those long bony legs. He uses that big old beak to feast on fish and sometimes amphibians and reptiles. A peregrine falcon. Those are neat birds. They could go really fast. They can fly up to 240 miles an hour. That is like crazy fast, like 5 times faster than a car. The long-wattled umbrella bird. We talked about that one today. Pretty cool. The blue-footed booby. I love the blue-footed booby. I talk about him in another one of my classes that maybe you'll take in the future. Absolutely adorable bird. Their feet are very blue, and they are really cool. And they do this funny little dance when they're trying to impress their girlfriends. They're pretty neat. The Vogelkopf superb bird of paradise. Wow. And that picture there, it seems to be showing the bird opening up almost to look like a flower, the bird of paradise. Oh, it's showing it doing its dance, it says. It does a really crazy dance. And look at that last person, how crazy it looks. That's really neat. California condor. That's pretty cool. Once extinct in the wild, conservation efforts have helped bring this bird back. Well, that's an exciting story, isn't it? That is really cool. The great bustard. Looks kind of like a pheasant. That's a pretty neat looking little bird. It says that it is vulnerable. It lives in Portugal and Spain. And the last one, the bee hummingbird. Oh my gosh. Look at how adorable that is. It's so tiny. It says it's 2.4 inches long. That's like probably about the size of one of your fingers. It's that long. And it's shiny blue. Oh, it's so cute. It says that it can pollinate up to 1,500 flowers in a single day. And they lay eggs the size of a coffee bean. That is super cute. So I hope that you have enjoyed our class today. I'm sorry that I didn't get to see you all live, but I tried to put together some good fun stuff for you guys to watch. And now you can rest assured that every Monday I am going to do this for all of you. And I just want to say there are so many kooky and beautiful birds in our world. In Florida, we see so many amazing birds all around us all the time that we get used to it. So be sure that you take time out this week to pay attention to some of the interesting birds that you see and realize that kids in states up north like Michigan, Ohio, Washington, and all those other colder states, they don't get to see most of the interesting tropical birds that we see every day unless they go to a zoo. So we live in a great state for birding and enjoying our birds. So that's it for class today. But if you haven't had enough kooky birds, like I said before, I'm going to leave you with some links to some other videos. And don't forget, on your worksheet it says to draw a bird or other creature that is hatching out of that egg. Tell me on the piece of paper, write your name, the name of your creature, and any little description or facts you want to tell me about the creature. Then have your parents take a picture of it and either email it to me or text it to me by Friday, and I'm going to put them all together into a little video that I'm going to send out next week when I send out the next class. So on next Monday, you will get another video like this and all of these links to your next class, as well as the video of everybody's hatchlings that they designed. So until then, stay kooky and have a fantastic week, and I will see you soon.